Hi guys, Alex here with Inside, and today we're going to be talking about Ellington Cove, the latest release from Ellington and Dubai Islands. I covered this project in more vague terms a couple months ago. If you remember, I was telling you that there's a project coming that will be fantastic for investment. There weren't many details at that point. So now the details finally came out. The launch day is very close. And so I wanted to do an update for you. And even if you're watching this later, it's still always possible to get units through cancellations. So that could be a way to get into this project as well, even if you're watching later. Just as a reminder, we have Dubai Islands here, originally slated as the third Palm and repurposed into 5 islands. And here we have Island A and Island B. These are the main areas being developed right now, where Island A has a number of different developers. You can think of it as kind of a higher end JVC on the water. And what's important is there's going to be a mall from Nakheel here. There is a yacht marina here. There is a beach, and there's roughly 10 or 12 projects here being built by different developers, many of them unknown developers or first-time developers. And so the fact that Ellington, which is one of the most respected brands and developers here in the UAE, is launching here is a good also testament to where Dubai Islands is heading. And you'll see when I talk about the project details why I believe that's the case. In the past, we've talked about Bay Grove from Nakheel and Nakheel Bay villas and townhouses here. Nakheel is basically building out this island for the most part, and other developers are building out this one. These 2 islands haven't really been touched. And so if we take a broader perspective of how long will it take for this area to appreciate, what I'm telling my clients is 5 to 7 years. Because it's, if we compare this as an investment to Khaimah or RAK, which you've seen in many of my other videos, I would say Dubai Islands is very good, but a close second. Where number 1 in terms of investment is still Khaimah because it's time bound, because the casino is launching in 2027, and so pretty much everything is going to be complete in the next 3-4 years. Dubai Islands will be a longer curve for property appreciation, and so keep that in mind when investing in Dubai versus Khaimah. So for having a longer term hold in Dubai, it's basically Dubai Islands from my perspective. Palm Jebel Ali I think is also quite good, 5 to 10 year time horizon. And then some other areas like maybe Expo and certain investments in Dubai Hills. But for the most part, in terms of the most rapid appreciation and where your money can double or triple in the coming 5+ years, it's Dubai Islands and Palm Jebel Ali in Dubai. And in Iraq, it's Al Marjan Island, where that kind of trajectory can be in the next 3 to 5 years. So the time frame is shorter, but just so you understand the landscape a bit better. Now let's dive back into the map here. So Ellington's project is the only one on the island at the moment with a private beach here. And essentially they have 4 buildings. They're releasing all 4 at the same time, Ellington Cove 1 and Cove 2. There is roughly 800 or 900 units, and they already have twice as many expressions of interest than the number of units. So with these types of launches, what happens? How do people actually get allocation? It's not just a matter of send me an inventory and see what's possible. It doesn't happen for these types of launches. These projects are sold out before they're launched. And to even get in, this is where you working with me, for instance, I use my connections to get you units. So far, in every single launch from Ellington and other developers, I've gotten my clients every unit that they've wanted. So I have a good track record for this, and I can negotiate special conditions on payment plan, sometimes pricing as well for my clients. And another note for sometimes I have people asking, well, why don't I just go directly to the developer? First of all, you can. So that's fine. However, let's take a look at the developer's job is to sell their units. They're selling a product. That's it. Their obligations are basically done after you sign the paperwork. And just because something says, for instance, sea view in a floor plan, I've seen too many times where that's not actually the case. It's looking in the direction of the sea, but that doesn't actually mean that you're going to have unobstructed view. It's important to dig into the floor plan because a developer might position something as a sea view unit, but that doesn't mean that that's actually the case. I've seen too many times where it's looking into another building that's being erected there over the coming weeks or months or years. And unless you know what's around you, it's impossible to actually say. So that's one thing. And then the second is my job as your partner, as your financial advisor, portfolio manager, to help you exit these properties, because presumably you're not buying this just to have it, you're buying it to make money. And that's my responsibility, to work with you as a partner to make sure that we exit it at the right time, reinvest that money into something else if necessary, and get the best possible price. Developer is never going to be responsible or interested in doing that. So conditions wise, I'm going to get the same conditions. Price-wise, it will be the same to you. The difference is you have my support over the coming 3 to 5+ years to work with you, and that's the main difference. So this is just to explain to you what the differences are between buying from a developer and buying it through me. It's price-wise the same. Support-wise, you get incredible value. Now, back to the project. Here, you see that there's a small road connecting this island to the next island. And I'll show you here what that looks like. So here is Ellington's project, yeah, and essentially this island is slated to be G+1 villas and golf courses, so there's not going to be high-rise buildings here. And so that positions Ellington to have a nice set of swimmable space, and being on a beach and being on a relatively quiet side of the island. Now, and it's part of Dubai's 2040 master plan, all of Dubai Islands, which is what makes it interesting, right? So right now some people say, well, look, it's next to the airport and there's plane noise. True. However, this airport is moving to Al Maktoum Airport in 7 to 10 years. And that's about, how long it will take for the islands to be developed. That's one thing. And two, this is the premise of investing in Dubai. You understand, you want to invest in areas that are not yet developed for maximum returns. And you know where they're going based on a master plan. Dubai has proven time and time again that this is what they're really good at, that they can set a plan, execute it, set a plan, execute it. So if you don't trust that, then, well, you shouldn't be investing in the UAE. So I think the country and the leadership has already proven over the last 50 years what an incredible success they can build, and that continues to this day. So let's take a deeper look at the project so I can explain some of the nuances. I really like the amenities here, and here you see another view of Dubai Islands. The earlier project we discussed was Nakheel Bay from Baygrove, which has multiple phases, and I'll cover why I think Ellington is better in a little bit. So here, as I mentioned, we have Cove 1 and Cove 2. We have 4 buildings essentially. This is one building, and there are mirror versions of each other. So we have Ellington 1 and Ellington 2 over here. Ellington always does a really good job with the amenities, optimizing for sun angles. These are all low-rise buildings, so 7 to 9 floors, roughly 800 or 900 units between the two of them. And in most scenarios, you're going to be facing the water, which is important from an investment standpoint. Whenever possible, be on a beach, be on the water, be from a high-quality developer. And yes, Ellington is better than Emaar and Damac. Just for those of you who like shopping for brands, this is my opinion, because they tend to build a, let's say, aesthetically, something that appeals to the widest possible audience. And having been and lived in a lot of different developers around the area, I can personally attest that so far only Ellington, Select, Omniat, and a couple others have met my bar for quality, and I tend to attract clients who see it the same way. So there's not to say that there's not exceptions, but on average for investment purposes, this is true. So we have 1 bedrooms to penthouses, quite generous in terms of spacing. Let's take a look at the amenities. This is just Cove 1. So as always, fitness center, swimming pool, really beautiful lobby design. What separates it is, let's see, I want to show a couple areas. So they have a clubhouse, first and second level. They also have a beach club, which is quite nice, and they have an alcohol license, which is rare in Dubai for residential buildings to have. And this means that this will be a magnet for not just residents, but also potential tourism. And so this increases the value of the units. And you have a beach club lounge. It kind of reminds me of Nikki Beach, minus the Nikki Beach brand. And so aesthetically, stylistically, I think it's really beautiful. And now it's a question of basically finding units. They have different gardens, a lot of greenery, or as much as you can have in Dubai. So all in, you can see that pretty, let's say, minimal sunny aesthetic. And I wish the corners were a little more rounded, as I'm a personal fan of that, but nonetheless, private beach, huge territory, space for water activities, kids center. The fitness center is something new. They have digital workouts available now, which is all the rage. You have a spa area. So these are amenities that I haven't seen in many other developers. And comparing to, for instance, Nakheel Bay or Bay Grove from Nakheel, the amenities are on a slightly lower level. Now, I want to talk about the floor plan because it's pretty somewhat complicated. So here we have ground. I'm just going to pick a typical, say, 4th or 6th floor plan, and essentially you see the units on the end are all 3 bedrooms deluxe. These are all going to have the best possible view, and this is true for Cove 1 and Cove 2, and they're around 6.8 to 7+ million dirham. And then you have 3 bedrooms here, and generally the bigger the unit, the better the view, the better the resale. So in general, I recommend 2-3 bedrooms for investment purposes. 1 bedrooms could also be good. 4 bedrooms I think are also quite good. So it just depends on your cash flow, but sweet spot, 2-3 bedrooms. And here, the 3 bedrooms are around 4.8 to 5.5 million. 2 bedrooms, they have 2 bedroom plus studios. There will be between like 3 and 4 million, and 1 bedrooms are going to be between like 2.2 to 2.5 or 2.6 million dirham. What's interesting is in many projects, for instance, when you compare it to Emaar, they leave the best views only for 2-3+ bedrooms. What I like about Ellington is they create space for even 1-bedroom owners to have really nice views. So here, there's a number of 1-bedroom options that will have views of the beach. Yes, not like looking at it directly, but still beach views, which I think is generous. And so this is the floor plan for Cove 1. Let's just briefly, I'll touch upon Cove 2. You'll see the arrangement is mirrored, Tower B, Tower A. They're slightly different angles, but once again, 3 bedrooms deluxe on the end, lots of ground for amenities. You have 2 bedrooms and 1 bedrooms, 2 bedrooms plus, 3 bedrooms that all have views of the beach. So there's plenty of options to choose from. And here, it's really important to dig into the nuances of what is the optimal floor, the optimal location within the building for resale. And this is something no developer will be able to give you. This is where I use my background and actual experience of reselling units to help you exit. So if you reach out, I'll be happy to work with you to find the optimal selection and the optimal conditions for you to make the money that you need. And everybody has different goals here, so it's my pleasure and job to work with you to really understand what your goals are. So here we have Ellington Cove 1 and Cove 2. I want to briefly touch upon, I mentioned Bay Grove, so let's look at Bay Grove because that's what people compare it to. Now, I think if you see here, you see their area is really a lagoon. It's not open water. So there is a wall separating. So you're going to have a limited swimming area. And I think that's the biggest disadvantage compared to Ellington. Also, the payment plan is 70-30 for Bay Grove. For Ellington, it is as well, but I can get that modified. So I think payment plan conditions can be better. And I think the amenities, as I mentioned in Ellington, are better. And it's only 18 dirham per square foot at Ellington for all those amenities. So all in, yes, I like Nakheel's Bay Grove. I think it's also a beautiful project aesthetically and architecturally. So at the same time, there's a few nuances, right? So that's something to consider. Now let's take a step back. So we have Ellington Cove 1 and 2 launching here imminently in Dubai Islands. I think it's the best investment in Dubai at the moment. I think Dubai Islands is the hotspot for rapid appreciation. Then within that, you have Bay Grove and Ellington's Cove 1 and 2, which I think edge out Bay Grove. And so here there's an opportunity to invest something that can double and more in price in the coming would say like 4 or 5 plus years, because that's about how long it will take for Dubai Islands to complete. And so who's this for? This can be beautiful for rental because unlike RAC, this can see long-term renters living here as well. And I think from a both short-term and long-term rental, it's possible here. Then from resale standpoint, really good, especially if we modify the payment plan for you. And yeah, living here I think could be quite nice as well because you're on a beachfront property. And if you compare this to, for instance, what happened in Blue Waters and MR Beachfront in the Palm, everything that is on the water appreciates in value and is worth more and is more liquid than other types of investments. So this would be, if I were investing in Dubai, this is where I would be investing, no questions asked. If I were building a portfolio, I would allocate maybe 60% to Ras Al Khaimah, to very specific projects there as well, and then maybe 20-30% to Dubai, and another 10-15 or so percent to Abu Dhabi. And that would diversify my portfolio across the region. Now, if this resonates for you, and this is my approach, my background is in private equity and venture capital, so I'm used to working with investors and family offices to build and actually execute and exit portfolios. So my job, you might notice this, I'm not here to sell you something. My job is to actually create a strategy that's unique for you and then help you execute it. So a little bit of a different focus, a bit more long-term, and I'm very loyal to my clients, and I also love that they are as well. And so most of my clients are repeat clients, and I also have the luxury of choosing who I work with, and I only work with people who are mature, ready to communicate openly and transparently, and are ready to work as equals and partners. So if that's you, if you like my approach, if you are interested in the UAE, whether it's this project or another, please reach out, say it's for Alex, so that I can get your message. I'm happy to have a discussion and see how we can build wealth for you and your family here over time. Or even if you're moving here, I also can very precisely guide you to the right area that will improve your quality of life the most. So thank you guys for watching. You can leave your comments below. I'm always here to respond. I appreciate everyone who's already a subscriber and who watches these videos. I hope that they're helpful, that they expand your knowledge of investments and real estate here in the UAE. My name is Alex. I'll see you next time.